The Mercedes-Benz OM 617 diesel rumbles past the million-mile mark without rebuilding, while Cummins ISX engines power semis across continents for decades. Ford's 300 inline-six keeps farm trucks running through generations. And the Toyota 22R refuses to quit after 40 years of daily driving. Caterpillar 3406 engines move mountains of earth and still ask for more. As Detroit diesel 8592s continue pushing buses through city streets year after year. The Volkswagen 1.9 TDI carries European taxis beyond distances once thought impossible, while Isuzu's 4BD1 workhorses outlast the frames they power. The immortal Cummins 5.9 ISB continues long after its trucks have rusted away, and the venerable Toyota 1HD FTE powers Land Cruisers across deserts and through jungles worldwide, all reaching the mythical million-mile threshold that separates legendary power plants from merely good ones. These incredible engines have defied expectations, continuing to run long after most vehicles have been scrapped. They represent the pinnacle of durability engineering, with design philosophies and construction techniques that created true mechanical immortality. Let us explore what makes these engines capable of distances that would circle the Earth 40 times over. 1. Mercedes-Benz OM 617 5-cylinder diesel. The Mercedes-Benz OM 617 5-cylinder diesel engine established Mercedes' reputation for building engines that outlast everything else on the road. Produced from 1974 to 1991, this inline-5 diesel power plant combines simplicity with exceptional build quality. The foundation of its longevity begins with an extraordinarily thick cast-iron block and forged steel crankshaft. Mercedes engineered an oil system with capacity well beyond what was necessary, ensuring excellent lubrication even as components aged. The pre-combustion chamber design reduces cylinder pressure compared to direct injection, decreasing stress on critical components while maintaining excellent efficiency. Performance figures appear modest, approximately 120 horsepower and 170 pound-feet of torque in turbo variants, because Mercedes deliberately operated the engine well below its mechanical limits, creating substantial safety margins for all components. The most famous OM 617 is a 1976 Mercedes 240D taxi in Greece that accumulated 2.8 million miles on its original engine with only basic maintenance. The engineering philosophy emphasized simplicity and robustness over cutting-edge technology, creating an engine that achieved incredible longevity even in developing countries with limited service facilities. Second, Cummins ISX heavy-duty diesel. The Cummins ISX represents the backbone of America's long-haul trucking industry. Introduced in 1998 as a replacement for the N14, this 15-liter inline-six delivers exceptional durability in commercial applications. The large cylinder bore spacing reduces heat concentration between cylinders, preventing a common failure point in high-mileage engines. The one-piece steel piston design with integrated cooling galleries significantly reduces thermal expansion issues that commonly lead to cylinder wall damage. Block rigidity maintains precise alignment of all rotating assemblies even after millions of load cycles, preventing cumulative bearing wear. Performance figures range from 400 to 600 horsepower, with torquey outputs between 1,450 and 2,050 pound-feet. Fleet data shows ISX engines routinely exceeding 1 million miles before requiring significant overhaul, with many reaching 1.5 million miles with regular maintenance. The extended oil change intervals, up to 30,000 miles in some applications, speak to the engine's robust design. What truly separates the ISX is its flat torque curve that allows operation in its peak efficiency range regardless of road conditions, reducing the thermal and mechanical cycling that accelerates wear in engines forced to constantly shift between power bands. Third Ford 300 Inline 6. The Ford 300 cubic inch, 4.9-liter inline 6 engine established itself as one of the most durable power plants ever installed in a light-duty vehicle. Manufactured from 1965 to 1996, this engine powered F-Series trucks and commercial vehicles with exceptional reliability. The inline 6 configuration provides inherent balance advantages over V designs, reducing vibration and resultant bearing stress. Ford used thick cylinder walls and 7 main bearings to support the crankshaft, 2 more than necessary for an inline 6. This overbuilt approach creates exceptional rigidity that maintains proper alignment of all rotating assemblies. The engine utilizes a timing gear system rather than a chain or belt. These cast iron gears virtually eliminate the risk of timing system failure that often limits engine lifespan. The overhead valve design with push rods significantly reduces complexity compared to overhead cam configurations, resulting in fewer potential failure points. Performance ratings appear modest, approximately 150 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque in later fuel-injected versions, because Ford prioritized durability over maximum output. A particularly notable case involves a 1983 F-150 delivery truck that accumulated 1.3 million miles before the transmission failed, while the original engine continued running without issue. 4. Toyota 22 R/22R E4 cylinder. The Toyota 22R and its fuel-injected variant, the 22RE, established Toyota's global reputation for building engines that refuse to quit. Manufactured from 1981 to 1997. These 2.4-liter four-cylinder power plants feature exceptionally thick cylinder walls cast from high-quality iron. The timing chain design deserves particular mention. Toyota engineered a dual-row chain with significantly greater strength than required for the engine's output. The company even added a third chain guide in 1983 to address the only notable weakness in the original design. The cylinder head design employs smaller than typical combustion chambers that increase efficiency while reducing heat concentration and thermal stress. The hemispherical chamber shape promotes complete combustion that minimizes carbon buildup, a common cause of performance degradation in high-mileage engines. The most famous million-mile example is a 1988 Toyota pickup owned by a California courier service that surpassed 1.25 million miles on its original engine with only basic maintenance. Toyota purchased the vehicle for its corporate museum, recognizing the significance of such exceptional longevity. 5. Caterpillar 3406 Heavy-Duty Diesel. The Caterpillar 3406 diesel engine represents the gold standard for durability in heavy equipment and commercial trucking applications. Produced from the 1970s through the early 2000s, this 14.6-liter inline 6 power plant thrives under the most demanding conditions. The extraordinarily rigid block design maintains precise alignment of all rotating assemblies even after decades of service. The 7 main bearings supporting the crankshaft provide stability far beyond what was technically necessary. Caterpillar engineered the coolant flow paths to maintain consistent temperatures across the entire engine, eliminating hot spots that typically accelerate wear. Performance figures ranged from 350 to 550 horsepower, with torque outputs between 1,200 and 1,850 pound-feet in later variants. Fleet data shows 3,406 engines routinely exceeding 1.5 million miles before requiring major overhaul. The most impressive 3,406 longevity statistics come from the mining industry, with documented cases exceeding 3 million equivalent miles in properly maintained engines operating in controlled conditions. 6. Detroit Diesel 8FI92 two-stroke diesel. The Detroit Diesel 8FI92 represents one of the most distinctive million-mile engines ever produced. This 9.2-liter Fi82-stroke diesel powered buses, boats, and heavy trucks with remarkable durability through the 1970s to 1990s. Unlike most diesel engines that use a 4-stroke cycle, the 8V92 completes a power cycle with each revolution of the crankshaft. This design eliminates traditional valves, using ports in the cylinder walls uncovered by piston movement, which reduces the valve train components that often limit engine lifespan. The unified block and head design features cylinder liners that extend through the block into the head area. This approach eliminates head gasket failures and provides superior cylinder sealing throughout the engine's extended service life. Transit Authority data shows 8 V92 engines routinely exceeding 1 million miles in city bus applications. The most impressive documented case involves a Detroit Transit bus that accumulated 1.6 million miles on its original 8V92 without major overhaul before retirement, despite decades of start-stop operation in urban service. Siedme Volkswagen, Jedna David, TDI Diesel. The Volkswagen 1.9 TD, a turbo direct injection diesel engine established itself as Europe's million-mile power plant. Produced from 1991 to 2007, this inline-4 diesel features high-quality cast iron with precise cylinder bore dimensions that maintain excellent ring sealing throughout the engine's extended life. The direct injection system represented a significant advance in diesel efficiency while maintaining the simplicity necessary for extreme longevity. The mechanical pump injector units, in earlier versions, eliminate the complex high-pressure common rail systems that often create reliability issues in modern diesels. The most famous documented million-mile example involves a 1999 Volkswagen Jetta TDI owned by a North Carolina photographer that accumulated 1.2 million miles on its original engine and transmission. European taxi operators provide further evidence of the 1.9 TDI's durability, with fleet data showing these engines routinely exceeding 800,000 kilometers before requiring significant attention. 8. Isuzu 4 BD1/4 BD2 Diesel. The Isuzu 4 BD1 and 4 BD2 represent some of the most reliable commercial vehicle engines ever produced. These 3.9-liter inline-4 diesel engines powered delivery trucks and construction equipment with exceptional durability from the 1980s through the early 2000s. The pre-combustion chamber design produces gradual combustion that reduces stress on critical components compared to direct injection systems. This gentler pressure rise significantly extends piston and ring life while maintaining excellent fuel efficiency. Japanese commercial operators report 4 BD engines routinely exceeding 600,000 kilometers before requiring significant attention. In developing countries across Southeast Asia, documented cases exist of these engines surpassing 1.6 million kilometers in daily commercial service despite challenging conditions and sometimes limited maintenance. 9. Cummins 5.9 ISB/6.7 ISB Diesel. The Cummins 5.9 ISB and its successor, the 6.7 ISB, established new benchmarks for longevity in pickup trucks and medium-duty commercial vehicles. Manufactured from 1998 through the present 6.7-liter variant, these inline-six power plants feature exceptionally robust construction with thick cylinder walls and 7 main bearings supporting the crankshaft. Oil system capacity significantly exceeds comparable engines from the same class. The large volume oil pan and efficient pump design maintain excellent pressure even as clearances increase with age. The carefully engineered oil galleries ensure consistent lubrication to all critical components regardless of operating conditions. Performance figures evolved throughout production, with the 5.9-liter producing up to 325 horsepower and 610 pound-feet of torque in final iterations, while the 6.7-liter currently delivers up to 400 horsepower and 1,000 pound-feet in certain applications. A particularly notable case involves a 2006 Dodge Ram 2500 used by an Arkansas construction company that accumulated 1.3 million miles on its original 5.9-liter ISB with standard service intervals. Jushunta Toyota, Jiden HDF TE Diesel. The Toyota 1 HDF TE 4.2-liter inline-six. Turbo diesel stands as perhaps the most legendary million-mile engine never officially sold in North America. Produced from 1995 to 2007, this power plant established Toyota's global reputation for building diesel engines that continue performing flawlessly despite decades of service in the most challenging environments. The block construction features exceptionally thick cylinder walls cast from high-quality iron that maintains dimensional stability despite extreme heat cycling. The 7 main bearings supporting the crankshaft provide stability far beyond what was technically necessary. Performance figures remained conservative throughout production, approximately 204 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque, because Toyota prioritized reliability over maximum output. The engine operates well below its mechanical limits during normal use, creating substantial safety margins for all components. The most famous documented case involves an Australian tour operator whose Land Cruiser accumulated 1.25 million miles on its original 1 HDFTE while conducting desert excursions. The owner reported following the factory maintenance schedule, but otherwise performing no extraordinary procedures to achieve this remarkable longevity. The engineering behind million-mile longevity. These 10 remarkable engines share fundamental design philosophies that enable their exceptional durability. Each features overbuilt components operating well below maximum stress limits, precision cooling systems that prevent damaging heat concentration, and oil circulation that maintains protection even as the engine ages. Their designers prioritized proven reliability over cutting-edge complexity, creating power plants that continue performing decade after decade, while lesser engines require replacement. With proper maintenance, these legendary engines demonstrate that the million-mile threshold, once considered mythical, represents an achievable target for truly exceptional engineering. They stand as benchmarks against which all claims of automotive durability must be measured. If you found this journey through engineering excellence valuable, please support our channel with a like and subscribe for more in-depth automotive content. Your engagement helps us continue researching and sharing these fascinating mechanical stories. Thanks for watching.